Did you guys know I like Azuma Daioh? Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's such a fun, cool, and silly little series that I still have pleasant and fond memories of, even if I only watched it last summer. But what about Azuma's other works? I mean, he did make Yotsuba, and that's very well beloved, but I have a bit of a confession to make. I never read it. Yeah, I just haven't really gotten around to it, and I'm more of a physical manga collector, and I usually try to keep myself only collecting maybe about a couple manga at a time. And right now, I've been collecting Chainsaw Man and Sailor Moon, so sorry, y'all. But Kiyohiko Azuma, the mangaka that bestowed upon us the second coming of Christ, has had quite the history. One of his first more serious works was Wallaby, a manga about a stuffed animal and a girl just kind of vibing and shit. The stuffed animal was actually this popular guy who died in a car accident with his family. I know, wonderful stuff right here. You can see a lot of the DNA from here that was stolen for Azumanga and Yotsuba though. Most obvious of all is his iconic art style. All of his works have this very cutesy, angular style that you're just able to recognize if you're a fan of his works. Mainly stuff like the original Azumanga Daioh manga, cause he sort of modified it for stuff like Yotsuba or the reboot of Azumanga Daioh Supplementary Lessons. The sense of humor is pretty on par too. Also, I think the universes are connected here as there's this like blurb at the end of chapter 8 that says the cultural festival at the protagonist's school can be seen in Azumanga chapter 11. So, yeah, that's something to think about. Also, hey, look at that, a Sega reference. This manga actually fucks. There's also Try that was a predecessor to Yotsuba, which pretty much built the groundwork for that series. And how could we forget the hood classics Imna no Rambu and Private Tutor Nami? They're porn. Like, no, I'm not kidding, they're just actual porn. But easily one of his most interesting and obscure works is A-Zone. Credited as his first manga, at least publicly and somewhat easy to find. It's a doujin or fan work based off of Sailor Moon. I found several other doujins made by Azuma that go under the same moniker that involve properties like Princess Maker or Macross 7 and Evangelion. Yes, all of these were written and made by Azuma himself. Weirdly enough, I can't find a lot of information about them other than the stuff I've already stated. And something else that's really fun is that I can only find 3 of the 4 Sailor Moon volumes online and translated. Every other piece of work that I've come across has been untranslated, so that's just wonderful. And the cherry on top of this, usually I found this stuff through really sus hentai sites. Thankfully, the Sailor Moons that are scanlated are scanned really well and they look amazing. But I'm weirdly surprised at the work's general obscurity though. I mean, it's Sailor Moon, but if we're made by the man who brought us Azumanga Daioh and Yotsuba, and honestly it fucks. It's a really perfect combination. Sailor Moon is beloved for its more fillery episodes and stories. The characters are really where that series works best, and having an almost exclusively slice of life story by a mangaka best known for it is literally godlike. Azuma is also just a really good writer and artist in general. Like I said previously, there's only 3 volumes that are, actually translated, so I'll discuss all of them in detail here. The first volume is a story about Rei drawing a Sailor V doujin. I feel like this one's supposed to be a little bit of a nod, just considering that this is a doujin itself, but honestly they find that pretty funny for a first plot. Something I really enjoy here was the small bits of world building in the context of the Sailor Moon universe here. Everyone except for Sailor Venus, or Minako, is here, so I assume this is somewhere in between episodes 25 and 33 of the original series, which does coincide with when A-Zone was coming out. This very much does feel like a in-between episode or something of that sort, especially when they still see Sailor V as more of an idol than anything. It's just really cool to me. Literally fucking awesome. I thought of it and just smiled really hard. I'm like, shit, that's cool as fuck. That's cool. Yeah. Also, I like seeing Otaku Rei. Like, I never thought I'd see Rei of all people reading yaoi. Things like this give the characters much more personality than the show really ever grants them, especially in that first season. To be honest, I'm still really salty over the fact that there weren't more episodes about all these characters individually, and especially none with her and this fucking himbo. Oh my god, these guys are perfect for each other. Anyways, it feels very much like a Sailor Moon plot down to its characters and humor. Obviously, everything has a bit of that Azuma spice to it though, mainly down to the humor and art. You get a very early look at his art style with the large eyes, rounded faces, and thicker outlines. I just think it's really cute. Eventually, Ami gets drunk, though. I mean, this isn't the last time this franchise handles a topic like that, so, I mean, it's pretty accurate. The manga ends with Rei not getting the manga done on time, and her getting mad at Usagi and Makoto. I think it's really cute, and it's super silly, and I really enjoy it. The 4-panel style of Azuma's works really well here. The characterizations are all super spot on, and the entire manga is just charming as hell, and I really appreciate the small bits that Azuma gives to the manga. It makes it stronger to me. Volume 2 was more of the same, but this time, Mako and Usagi try their best not to fail tests. I love how they make Mako into the big bimbo in this series. Again, I just really enjoy and adore some of these new characterizations they give these characters. I'm sure some of it was just due to necessity. Like, clearly this series wasn't that far into its run, so Azuma had to fill in a lot of the blanks here. Or maybe he just wanted to give these characters more defining character traits for the sake of humor. Who really knows? I'm not sure at all. I can't really read this guy's mind. Also, Ali and Anne from the early arc of R here? That one really caught me off guard, to be honest. But, I mean, it really shouldn't be, just considering that's probably where the series was at the time anyways. I just always kind of forget that these guys exist when the infinitely better Negamoon sisters are here. And, like, they're literally some of the show's best villains, so who the fuck cares about these two? But eventually, Mako and Usagi enlist Ami to help the two study. And, this goes pretty weird, to be honest. They start eating their textbooks at one point, and yeah, this is when I see more of the Azuma DNA at its finest and peak. Something I kind of realized while reading the manga was that Rei is literally just Yomi, Ami's Chiyo, Usagi's Osaka, and Mako's either Toma or Kagura. I feel like that one's pretty interchangeable. Like, this has to be intentional, right? Like, it feels way too on the nose. I hate that. And the gags that are presented here are honestly pretty funny too, as Mako actually makes dishes out of the paper and the gang enjoys them. It then pretty much turns into a regular episode of the show again, as Ali and Anne drain Ami's brain power. This one defo takes place during early hours. Even that weird design for tuxedo mask that never gets explained shows up. Yeah, you know the one. There's a quick gag where her parents show up for a moment, and honestly, I thought that was really smart and funny too. And the literal greatest manga panel of all time is right here.
I won't allow an Arab.
This issue's fucking unhinged. Like, a little bit later, Ami beats Anne with a chair until she bleeds. Shit, this Doujin really does hit it out of the park. It's just super fun. And something else I forgot to mention was the comics at the end more reminiscent of Azuma's actual style. Those are really neat and hilarious too. And finally, we have Volume 4. Volume 3 was the Princess Maker issue, by the way. To be honest, I was rather confused, but it's whatever. The girls go to the pool this time and are up to some silly hijinks. I like when they apply Mamoru as a weirdo in this universe. I mean, he is in any universe, but that wasn't here nor there. And Usagi's genuine heartbreak at what Rei says. Oh my fucking god, I literally died. Holy shit, damn, this manga holds... This shit holds no fucking punches. And hey, there's even a reference to how Ami enjoys swimming. The gang helps Minako beat Ami at swimming, and more antics ensue. Like, when they literally almost kill Minako. I liked that. This is also where probably the best known piece of this doujin is found, and to be quite honest, the gag is pretty funny, so I don't blame people. Overall, it's just a super cute ending to this very short doujin. According to the notes by Azuma himself, at the start of the issue for Macross 7, he started to feel unmotivated, especially when he didn't really enjoy the ending to the third season Sailor Moon S nor Sailor Moon Supers. Seems like he also made some Tenchi Muyo comics too? You get some real interesting blurbs at the end of these things. It's honestly really cool. I was able to read these thanks to the Google Translate mobile app. I apologize if anything's inaccurate though, because it really isn't the most reliable source, but at the very least, it's really easy to access. Did you know Azuma also wrote a couple pages including his thoughts on certain moments of the original anime? Ever want to see Azuma's thoughts on Nephrite's death? Well, bam.
Nephrite was really cool this time around. Doing seriously stupid things like Nephrite, I love it. He was my favorite character, so it's a pity that he died.
How about...
Then
I feel like this was supposed to mean something different, but this is infinitely funnier, so I'm keeping this in. I also like how he always refers to Usagi as the rabbit. I just found that one cute. Azuma's passion for Sailor Moon really shines here, and he even redraws specific scenes from the show in these pages. It's so fucking cool. I could eat his art style. The passion for Sailor Moon seeps with this man. Like, you can tell he had a real passion because he recontextualizes the Sailor Moon characters while also not compromising their personalities, and he's just such a good writer, man. A-Zone is just a really interesting part of his history and Sailor Moon history that doesn't really get talked about. The Doujin definitely shows how much potential he had, especially so early on. And his attention to detail is very admirable. Seriously, A-Zone is a super fun, wacky, and charming work if you're a fan of Sailor Moon, or a fan of Azuma's other works like Azumanga Daioh. I'll put a link to the scanlation in the description if you're interested. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate it, and I super duper hope you've been enjoying the videos lately. See you. Oh, yeah, hey, I'm gonna, I didn't talk about this before, but huge credit to the person who actually made the original scanlation, Sailor Failures, at least that's their Tumblr. I will also link that in the description too. Seriously, huge thank you, because I wouldn't have been able to read this manga in the first place if it weren't for them. So, yeah, you're awesome, Sailor Failures. Okay, now I can end the video. Bye, guys.